And now, Fox 13 meteorologist Valerie Mills with your Sky Tower Vector Scan forecast.
Hey there, everyone. Good Monday morning to you. Starting out with a look at radar as still tracking those downpours right now, scooting right along the coast of Pinellas. That is where so far heaviest rain has been setting up this morning. And more of these continue to sit offshore. So expecting this activity to continue here over the next couple of hours. Here's where the rain right now is coming down right over Reddington Beach. A pretty good downpour for you there. Just saw that heavy rain roll out of the Clearwater area, moving into Palm Harbor right now. Tarpon Springs, Holiday, you're next in line. A lot of this heavy rain sitting just along the coast, but enough of that further inland. Overall, though, things quiet right now closer to Tampa. Many of our Bay Area spots as well, but then around St. Pete Beach, Tierra Verde, down in the Fort DeSoto area. A couple of those downpours starting to roll through. We have those right near the Sunshine Skyway. And then another batch right now just moving in for Northport. So some heavy rain right now over that area. Very isolated, but moving into the 75 corridor there in a couple of minutes as more of these downpours move away from coastal Manatee, crossing areas around the Sunshine Skyway here over the next couple of minutes. We'll be watching for that region. Otherwise, you see a couple more of those storms off of our nature coast spots, but these are paralleling the coast, going to continue to generally move away, so not expecting those to move onshore. Tricky as far as where we're going to be watching for the rain and storms today. They're going to be favoring the coast, but some models have been trending a lot drier than others, as it's really going to depend on how far those rain bands are able to make it outside of where we're watching that low pressure system spin. So that's why we're really going to focus from the nature coast through Hillsborough down to Sarasota counties. Fewer storms today for Polk and Highlands, but expecting a couple more of those as we get into the afternoon hours. Going to see tons of breaks in between the thunderstorms and the downpours for today, but mostly cloudy skies, only few breaks of blue sky in between. But we're not talking washouts. Similar to the weekend, we're going to be at times dry, and then other times we'll hear rumbles of thunder and frequent lightning, locally heavy rain. Those are going to be our main concerns compared to any sort of severe weather threat for the day ahead. Temperatures right now, we've got those low and mid 70s across the Panhandle. And then we're at 80 in Tampa as well as St. Pete, 79 right now in Sarasota. So temperatures comfortable, a little bit warmer in some spots compared to where we started out over the weekend, as a lot of our coastal spots were in the upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday morning. So that kind of a nice change from the low 80s where we have been running above average. We're going to sit right near 80 degrees here through about 8, 9 o'clock. So it's going to be really slow warming up today with the cloud cover. Look at by 11 o'clock, we're only sitting around 85, calling for the upper 80s this afternoon in Tampa. So many spots going to be running close to average, but a couple of degrees below. And so we look at our coastal spots, about 85 to 88 degrees, mixing in some more low 90s then as we look to our inland spots. But overall, not bad out there as far as temperatures. It's going to be feeling humid with winds out of the south today. And so a little bit of that breeze will be felt, sometimes a little bit windier with more so 10, 15 and some occasional gusts into the 20s. As far as the excessive rain outlook for today, here's where it runs. Basically from New Orleans, coastal Louisiana there, basically the eastern coast, and then extends down the Panhandle. We've got some of our inland spots in the Panhandle included, and then mostly just along a sliver of our west coast. So we see all of Pinellas in this marginal risk for heavy rainfall today. Sarasota County included in that as well. And then as we look further inland around Hillsborough, we see that cutoff there. None of our inland spots in the mix for that. But the big picture here is we still have this onshore flow today. So that's going to continue to boost our rain coverage around this area of low pressure. This is Tropical Depression 2 that we're watching for further development. It's moving away from us though. So there's the good news. Not going to be watching this for tropical impacts here for the west coast of Florida, more so the Panhandle and then our Gulf Coast spots. Then look by Wednesday though, we get a sliver of this drier air that starts to creep in. And as that arrives by around the middle of the week, that really is going to drop down our storm chances. So 60% storm chances today, lower in coverage on Tuesday, and then by the middle and end of the week, overall fewer storms are going to be in the mix after this unsettled weekend and start to the work week. Now, as for that tropical system, here's where the tropical watch is up. Tropical storm watch runs from the Ochlockonee River all the way across the Panhandle, then to the Alabama border. Here's the latest with that system. Tropical Depression 2, winds up to 35 miles per hours. So we're very close to that tropical storm status. Once those maximum sustained winds are 39, we'll have Tropical Storm Bertha, and the forecast does call for that to happen later on today. I'll have to fix those time marks. Looks like those are a little bit messed up, but we're watching this slow movement to the north and west. So as it generally starts to approach the western panhandle, right around the Alabama, Louisiana areas, that's what we're seeing more of that indication that could start to turn more to the west, scoot right along the coastline there through the end of the week. What's really going to matter as far as how long the system is able to last? Does it start to interact with land a little bit more so, closer to, say, the Florida coastline, the Alabama coastline, or does it stay over those warm Gulf waters, scooting along the coast and generally drifting toward Texas? That would make it a stronger system compared to more of that land interaction that would weaken this a little bit quicker. But this gives you an idea here with our Fox weather model. You see it looking much more organized, that convection, that circulation, more impressive by tonight into tomorrow morning. At this point, likely to be Tropical Storm Bertha, then it slowly crawls to the west, and so we see by Wednesday afternoon our Fox model putting this just to the south of places like New Orleans and there along the eastern Louisiana coast. But you see, this is highlighting that that circulation is still going to be over those warm waters and could mean that we're watching this through the end of the week as it continues to move west along the Gulf Coast. But just to put it into perspective, comparing this season to last year, well, at this point last season we had already had 3 named storms compared to the 1 that we have at this point. So certainly a slower start, but it does look pretty likely that we're going to see our second named storm of the season looking ahead to the next day or so. Just a heads up with all of the action we have in the Gulf. No surprise, not talking very nice beach boating weather. We have dangerous rip currents today. That rip current risk runs through 8 p.m. Small craft advisory also extends through Tuesday. So things are rough on the bay. Seas 4 to 8 feet. We're talking south wind about 20 to 30 knots all day into Tuesday as well. Tuesday night is when we'll see that small craft advisory start to ease up. 7:12 a.m. for our high tide, low tide right around 1:50 this afternoon. Cloudy with some lingering showers tonight, lows in the 70s and then a couple of low 80s for St. Pete down to Sarasota. Fewer thunderstorms tomorrow. That's going to mean a little bit more heat. I think Tampa's back in the low 90s and we're going to see more 90s in the mix tomorrow.